the man from down under with a little thunder, WWE and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. I hear something else comes from down under too. The Wrestling with Figs podcast with my mates Chris and James. You gotta tune into this great podcast because Chris and James will give you all the inside info. Whoa! Yay!
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Wrestling with Figs podcast. I am your host, Chris Maddock from Western Australia, and joining me is...
Me? You gonna say my name for me?
You can introduce yourself.
Okay, I'll introduce myself. Over in the east is James Thomas from beautiful Port Macquarie. It's great to be here. It's great to be having another chat with you, Chris, about figures. And
hey, James, I've got a bone to pick with you straight off the bat, mates. Every time we intro the show, you say beautiful Port Macquarie, yet every time I talk to you, you tell me it's raining.
It is raining. It is raining. Anyway, a shout out to anyone that's on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. It's actually bucketing down right now. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but that's why I thought I'd wear my hat just in case it starts coming through the roof. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to all the people who are joining us on the live stream. Already see John Watson's joined us with a comment. Make sure you keep engaging throughout the night and add your comments as we go. It's been a big weekend, mate. Big week. What's been going on in your world?
It is a big week. It's Mania week. What's been going on in my world? I've been trying to entertain two little boys throughout this bloody wet weather, and it's doing my head in, Chris, just quietly.
Welcome to my world, mate. I do it every day as a job.
Now, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
Don't know how you do it. What about you, mate? How was your week?
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
It was my birthday, 39 years young on Saturday. Thanks for telling everyone I was in my 50s. And thanks to all those people who posted, geez, you look pretty good for 50, and I really appreciate that. I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, but it's happy birthday. Family were a real letdown. They didn't get me anything. My wife was in isolation for a week because of kids coming to school with COVID. And then she said, I couldn't go out and get you a gift. But you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that, James, is she buys so many things online.
Yeah.
Yet couldn't buy me something online.
Yep.
So disappointing.
That's a letdown. Well, I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry.
If she's watching or listening, I'm a bit disappointed. But had a good weekend. Got my first tech foul coaching my son's basketball.
You got a tech foul?
I got a tech foul. Yeah.
You got sent off?
No, just a tech foul. So we only had 5 players. COVID's going crazy over here. We had one kid out with COVID, one kid in isolation, and one kid away on a holiday. So we only had 5 players. And the over-enthusiastic 15-year-old refs gave my son 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes. So I thought, and probably one of them was there. 2 of them were pretty soft. Anyway, he got through, and then started the second half. He gets called for a reach for his 4th foul, and it was right in front of our bench, and he missed the guy trying to swat the ball by about 1 metre. There was no contact. It was just a bad call. I stuck my arms out and went, "You got to be joking me!" And the referee didn't like it, and so he called me for a tech. So
there you go.
Anyway.
Can't do that these days, mate. And
then the peanut gallery behind me, all the other parents said, "Oh, that guy's a teacher."
Well, let's get into it, mate. It has been a big week. It is WrestleMania week, so I thought, actually, you know what? Let's quickly touch on what the world is talking about right now.
Firstly, the world's talking about this. My wife, who posted on my Facebook to the greatest guy I know with a Hulk Hogan gif. Now, the reason the world's talking about that is because the world is shocked that, firstly, my wife posted something on social media because normally she's never on there, and secondly, she went with a wrestling theme for my birthday. But is this what you were suggesting the whole world is talking about?
Yes, the slap heard across the world.
The slap.
You've done there, mate.
Can I just share a couple of images that I really like that I found on The Rock?
Yep.
So the Chris Rock and the Will Smith. So I like that straight away wrestling fans went to the WrestleMania showdown. Very cool. I like our mate Aussie John Lucas Reyes mocked up a very quick Hasbro-esque Will Smith
fantastic
full swing slapper. Very funny Aussie John.
Yeah. Very
how
good
is he? He is just a genius.
That's great. That's awesome.
And then if you follow a few of the other toy collecting groups, this one was another ripper. Everybody hates Chris. The show with the Kung Fu slap. So it was very, very funny. Bizarre. It's a bizarre thing to happen.
What do you think? Just in a short sentence, what do you think? Appropriate or not?
Probably not, but understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't. That's a good way to say it. I think we're talking offline, and I honestly believe comedians don't need to go below the belt to make people laugh, and that was below the belt. You know, Will Smith's wife has got a condition, and I'm sure any woman that has to walk around with a shaved head is a strong woman, right? Like that's a lot. Men can't even walk around with a bald head. They go get head transplants. So to make fun of her on a global stage, that's below the belt. And I think there's so many blokes that I think are clapping him on. But look, probably not on the global stage. Maybe on a local stage. But yeah, that was it's bizarre. It was quite funny.
Quite often in our world we hear about equality, and people say, women have had it rough for a long time. But I agree, they have.
Be careful.
But you know what's not equal in the world, mate? Right, firstly, if you're a bald dude, people make fun of you. I'm not. So luckily I'm not.
No, neither am I.
There's no equality for the bald. There's no equality for the fat. They get treated badly too. There's definitely no equality for losers. Like people, if you're a loser, people don't say, hey, it'll be all right, mate. Don't worry about it, They just think, oh, no, I don't want to hang out with that person because they're a loser. But, these days, aren't we meant to be all the same?
Yep.
So I think we need to start a no mams, like, Al Bundy's group, the no mams.
Yeah. Oh, well, mate, it is WrestleMania week, an exciting week. And how about we share some of our favourite WrestleMania moments?
Well, favourite match of all time, WrestleMania, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For me, it is just the best match of any Mania I've ever seen. So much blood. Love a good match with blood. For one of my favourites, nostalgic-wise, looking back, WrestleMania 6, obviously iconic, Warrior Hogan. Really one of those events that shaped my love of wrestling. WrestleMania 7 is probably the most nostalgic WrestleMania from my childhood, just because it was like peak fandom for me. It was WrestleMania 7. But the blindfold match, probably the dumbest idea of all time. Then WrestleMania Hogan versus McMahon as an adult got me really back into it a lot. I was so amped for that. Was it Mania 20 or 21? 19. And
Steve Campbell, if you're listening, mate, correct me if I'm wrong, mate.
Yes, I just thought, geez, that is just such a great match. It sold the backstory, and sometimes the wrestling just gets it spot on. So that was very good.
Yeah.
What about you, mate?
For me, WrestleMania 3, the whole show was just a cracker. But obviously, when WrestleMania 3 was what, 1987? 85. So I was very young back then, so I didn't really know what was going on. But as an adult watching that whole show grabs your attention. As they come out in the ring in those carts, just the crowd, Vince McMahon addressing the crowd at the start, it's just sensational. Steamboat versus Macho Man's match was top notch, stole the show. Like you, nostalgic reasons, Ultimate Warrior beating Hulk Hogan, that was awesome. But over the years, there's been actually another match. I can't remember which. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was. Was it 7 or 8? Was Bret Hart versus Rowdy Piper for the IC? That was a great match.
Or was that? I don't think it was 7. 7 was Boss Man and Perfect, wasn't it?
I don't know. It must have been 8 or 9, maybe.
I can't remember. Steve will know.
Anyway.
Come on, Steve. Help us out, mate.
Yep.
It's
Mate,
getting harder, isn't it? The older we get, the harder it is to really remember exactly what happened when. Are you going to watch this weekend's Mania?
I'll do my best. It's just hard, mate. As you know, with 2 little ones, you don't get much time.
Well, I'll tell you what, it gets easier because my son is now excited to watch it this weekend. So I stupidly booked tickets to go to see Sonic 2 with the kids this weekend. So
that'd be good. That'd be a good movie.
We love the first one. I'm just desperately trying to avoid COVID over here, so I don't have to give up my tickets. But yes, we'll see how it goes. Any last words on Mania?
Not on Mania, but we've had another death in the world, and that is RIP to the Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins. Just what is going on? Yes, I suppose we're going to be facing that a lot, hey? So the older we get, the more people are going to pass, obviously. But yeah, it's becoming a little surreal, very surreal. Shane Warne, Razor Ramon, Taylor Hawkins. Who's next?
Look, I think we need to also realise that probably some of these people also lived a very indulgent lifestyle.
Yep.
And the other thing is, because they're a celebrity, they get a bit of news, but it's not uncommon for people to die young.
No, of course.
The amount of people who seem to be really famous who've died young recently is pretty sad. I've seen the Foo Fighters twice in concert, and they were bloody amazing. So, saw them here at the Big Day Out when I was about 16 or 17. And then a couple of years later, as an adult, as a 19, 20-year-old at a stadium, it was really, really good. And one of my favourite bands, and very disappointed. They were meant to be coming back in November, so now won't be able to go to that, I don't think.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's lift the spirits of the show, mates. Let's get into it because we've got a big show and we want to stick to our timeline. So let's get into community news.
News.
As always, a huge shout out to the team at Go Figure Collectibles. Jeff and the team do amazing work, and without them, Wrestling with Figs podcast would not exist. So we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. So we'd like the community to get behind them and use code FDU5 whenever you're checking out online to receive 5% discount store-wide. Now, Go Figure have got a huge range of things. Mattel is not treating them very kindly, but they've lifted their game with everything else. Hot toys, Lego, Turtles, whatever it may be. They've got heaps of stuff, so check them out.
Hey, James, I've got to be with exciting breaking news on Go Figure.
Yep. Go for it.
Planning a visit myself.
Oh, wow.
Later in the year, I might pop over to Melbourne for a bit of a footy trip. So now that the borders are open, everything's back to normal. As long as I don't get COVID and have to spend a week in quarantine in Melbourne, that would be a bit boring. But I'll definitely be hitting up Jeff for free stuff. So, Jeff, if you're watching, I'll be there for free stuff.
Get together. Figs Down Under community. Come over and join us on the Facebook private group. A lot of fun. Good bunch of guys and girls. Great collectors. Great collections. And it's a lot of fun. So come over and join us. Let's get into figure news, mate. There's a lot going on. There just seems to be so much happening week in, week out. Sometimes when we're preparing the show, I ask myself, God, what am I going to put together this week? And then it just kind of falls in my lap because it's just constant, absolutely constant. But first up, we've got the heels and faces. They've got a couple of reveals. First up, we've got the Andre painted prototype reveal. What do you think?
I love it. So my question is, I didn't realise Andre came with 2 heads.
Well, I didn't realise Andre came with 2 different attires as well. He's got the blue one and then the black.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe there's 2 versions. Maybe there's a chase variant.
Maybe. But they look bloody sensational. Just really, really impressed.
When you compare that to the Hasbro, which I thought the Andre